To understand the Republic, it's important to know her oldest and most stalwart defenders, the Jedi. While they are few in numbers in the grand scheme of things, the Order has been at the epicenter of galactic events for nearly 20,000 years. Now, I'm not a Jedi, I don't feel the Force like they do, so take everything I say here with a grain of salt. But at the highest of levels, the Jedi are an order of peaceful monks dedicated to serving the light side of the Force. They believe in tranquility, justice, and self-sacrifice, and these beliefs are summarized in their Jedi code. There is no emotion, there is peace. There is no ignorance, there is knowledge. There is no passion, there is serenity. There is no chaos, there is harmony. There is no death, there is the Force. Talking with a trusted Jedi colleague, he summarized this mantra by saying that the Jedi Code is designed to rid the Jedi of all thoughts and feelings that would lead towards violence. Emotion, ignorance, passion, chaos, and death, all of the emotions that make you want to get into a fistfight, the Jedi try their hardest to not feel these things. Instead, they focus on tranquility, peace, knowledge, serenity, and harmony. The emotions and insight that resolve disputes without the use of a weapon are what the Jedi stand for. They attempt to be the personification of decency. But it's not an easy task to purge yourself of everything that arguably makes you a sentient being. And a single stumble off the light path can send a Jedi tumbling off a cliff into the dark side. Thus, as a matter of caution, the Jedi only accept the very young into their ranks, so that they may receive a lifetime of training. Working with the Republic, the Jedi seek out Force-sensitive children across the galaxy and offer to take them into their ranks to train them in the ways of the light. As attachments can often lead to the dark side, the child is cut off from contact from their parents and their families. Their new home is in the Jedi Order, not whatever planet they are leaving behind. While it may seem cruel to take children from their families like this, it is usually seen as a great honor to have a child selected to become a member of the Jedi Order. So the jury is out on whether this practice is ethical or not, but to the Jedi it is a necessary sacrifice, and an effective one. While these kids may be Force sensitive, they are still kids. Known as younglings, these children are essentially going to Jedi school, taking group classes as they develop physically, mentally, and emotionally to take on the initiate trials. Once a youngling has completed these trials, they can become a Padawan and be selected for personal one-on-one mentoring from a knight or a master. Over the course of several years, a Padawan will dedicate their lives to learning from their new mentor, conquering the challenges they set forth to tackle their inner demons. While the Jedi do attempt to restrict attachments, it's nearly impossible to expect any intelligent life to not spend a decade in close contact with a mentor and not view them as some sort of parental figure. And at the same time, the master takes on the role of part parent, part professor, and can naturally grow fond of their Padawans. While they may want their Padawans to succeed, they must be wise enough and detached enough to know when to let them fail. Once a master deems their Padawan worthy, they can go through a series of trials to test their mind, body, and spirit. Typically, these trials are personalized to target a Padawan's personal struggles, so details are hard to come by, but apparently they're a pain in the neck. But, if completed, a Padawan becomes a Jedi Knight. These are full-fledged, proper Jedi. Guardians of the light, proficient in the Force, and wise beyond their years, these Jedi are no longer subservient to a master and can accept independent assignments, taking them to the far corners of the galaxy to subdue threats of all shapes and sizes. At this time, Knights are expected to be extremely independent, handling their own struggles and following their own pursuit of knowledge. They are also allowed to take on a Padawan to pass down the knowledge they have learned and begin that cycle all over again. Most Jedi will spend their entire careers as Knights. It's an honored, respected position within the galaxy, but the truly exceptional and dedicated Jedi can be elected to the rank of Master. While in some ways this distinction is more of a ceremonial medal of achievement than anything else, becoming a Master does open the doors for a Jedi to either teach classes of younglings or to be elected to the Jedi Council. The Jedi Council serves as leadership for all Jedi and are expected to help guide the path of the Order. Because while the Jedi are granted a great deal of independence, someone has to keep a hand on the stick to keep the starship flying in the right direction. The Grand Master of the Order, currently Satele Shan, is responsible for leading this council, and thus leading all the Jedi on their path towards preserving peace and light. This extensive, decades-long training allows Jedi to be well respected across the galaxy, even in Hutt and Imperial space, as arbiters of truth and justice. When a Jedi talks, people will be wise to listen. From the lowest of peasants to the most noble of houses, a Jedi's word should carry incredible weight if you know what's good for you. But when words aren't enough and violence becomes necessary, do not mistake a Jedi's kindness for weakness. A lifetime of studying equips a Jedi with a strength beyond our mortal understanding. Be it through their masterful command of the Force or their sheer augmented physical might, a Jedi is a dangerous combatant, and their skills should not be taken lightly. Their combination of mental and physical fortitude means that Jedi are looked to as leaders on the battlefield, and will often serve as honorary generals for Republic forces. They are bastions of strength and courage in ways that defy traditional understanding. In our darkest and most desperate of hours, there are few things in this galaxy as comforting as the hum of a lightsaber fighting on your side. Despite their best efforts, the Jedi are still sentient beings like you and I. They are fallible. They make mistakes just like us. Their methods of taking children and giving them decades of training can seem to some like a cult-like indoctrination, stripping the Jedi of their free will and forcing them into a lifetime of servitude. Additionally, their restriction on attachments has good intentions, but is far too often simply a barrier to the most basic of needs, and I can't help but wonder whether their own fear of attachments pushes young Jedi to hide their emotional shortcomings, rather than confronting them head-on and handling them appropriately. Like a child hiding the results of their math test from their parents, you can cover a failing temporarily, but the report card always comes due. And for a Jedi, that's a very dangerous gambit to play. Furthermore, you can make a very convincing case that the Jedi are single-handedly responsible for the darkness that has enveloped this galaxy time and time again. And if it wasn't for the Jedi, we would not have to contend with their darker counterparts. The path of the light is narrow, slippery, and treacherous. Far too often, well-meaning Jedi fall off the edge. Frankly, given the horrors the galaxy has experienced over the past decades, it's amazing that more haven't given in to the darkness. While the Jedi do believe in redemption, it can be a long, arduous climb back into the light. But, in spite of their shortcomings, we are lucky to have the Jedi Order. They are the embodiment of everything we strive to be. They remain ever vigilant. Time and time again, they have been called upon to defend the glory of the Republic against the tyranny of the dark side. For this is the destiny of the Jedi. Stay safe out there. Signing off.